Hello and welcome to the C-Suite Sessions. I'm Andreas Pouros. I'm the founder and CEO of a business called Greenlight.
My name is Deri Jones, and I'm the founder and chief executive of thinkTribe. Greenlight brings traffic to your site. thinkTribe makes sure it converts. We thought it would be good to have a forum where C-level guys can get together
to get a sense of their story, the challenges that they face and the challenges that their customers face.
and the tips and tricks we can share on the way.
Hi, welcome to C-Suite Sessions, where we talk about things of interest to people at the C-level. As always, myself, I'm here, Chief Executive of thinkTribe. Andreas, welcome, Chief Executive of Greenlight. And today we've also got Murat, the Chief Executive and the founder of Segmentify, one of the big names in the personalisation space. And I know, Murat, that your career path wasn't a traditional one up through commercial ranks and so on, but you've come a different way to get to the success you've got today. So perhaps you can give us a bit of personal background about how you got here.
Thank you, Deri. Thank you, Andreas, having me. Yeah, it's different, exciting. I don't know the best bet, but it's different because I'm coming from academia, spend a lot of time on the academic side, doing the research, working with numbers, teaching a little, but mainly working with the data and the machine learning algorithms. It is funny, it is nice, it is exciting, Deri, but it's a different journey as well. If you can manage these two different spirits all together, the commercial side, the academic side, the entrepreneur one, it brings up the success, if you ask me, because both are quite complementary. Because when I was in academia and I was working for academic, actually research council, so we were doing some business, but it was not commercial. We always have the mind of, okay, academia is nice. The guys in the commercial side doesn't know anything, so technically they are not actually efficient. So we need to push them more. We need to kick them out of the offices. Don't buy anything. We can do anything. We can develop anything. Open source is the best. So focus on that. But when I moved here, then I realized actually that was the worst thing to do, because yes, you are in academia because you can deep dive things more, intelligence level wise, but it is kind of given. You're born, yes, you work hard, but it's given. But unless you commercialize the things, it doesn't generate any value at the end of the day for the humanity.
It's funny because one of the things that you always, growing up particularly, you always assume that the most successful people in business are the smartest people, and that's not necessarily the case. Often there's very, very successful business people who aren't that clever, but they're very driven, they're outcome orientated. So I suspect, Murat, you have to kind of sometimes try to be not so clever and be more direct sometimes in going from A to B, as opposed to using the full capacity of your brain and your experience, which can often maybe even slow things down, I suspect.
We need both. Even today we are having this actually session, not in the middle, but I hope to the end of the pandemic, and happily we are getting socialized in UK thanks to some academicians who worked on the vaccines in various parts of the world and commercialized it and just made it happen. And I got my 2 jobs and I'm feeling more comfortable now. So we need both of them. Both should be here. But now I had that transformation, Deri, honestly speaking. So I have 2 examples for this. I had the scene in the Matrix movie. Morpheus gave me those 2 pills and took one. I don't know if this is the right one or the wrong one, but it's a completely different life now.
Okay, that's interesting. So let's having centered on you, let's talk about the personalization space. Obviously, Segmentify is a big name in this space. Can you talk us through the kind of levels, the levels that organizations go through as they're getting to grips with doing personalization properly?
Sure, definitely. So this is what I am living for the last 6 years, trying to understand the needs in the e-commerce world, bringing my algorithms and my team's capabilities to bring some solutions to that. But when we start to build it 6 years before, we just realized, okay, this personalization is actually in the online world for e-commerce. We need to understand the dynamics of the retail, how business is being done. Retail commerce is being done for ages. So yes, e-commerce is fairly new, but we have been trading for a long time as humanity. So it's not so much different than, yes, the dynamics are changing. I understand it. B, in this online world, there is a dominant player, which is Amazon. So personalization, we said, was mainly driven by Amazon, and it was introduced around 25, 30 years before. And starting with, hey, Deri, welcome back. How are you? On the Amazon website, on the top right corner, seeing your name was the first initial personalization we saw in this domain, not in the emails, on the website first. Then we started to put these field insertions into the emails. When we start to send emails, hey, thank you very much for your purchase. Wow, it calls my name. At that time, again, 25 years before, it felt nice to feel like we are getting a communication from that machine, the monitor. And the primary level of the personalization we can call is that static field insertions into the emails, into the website, any kind of communication we are doing from the brand side to the customers. This we call is the first level of actual personalization. The second level now, which is apparently not enough. Yes, you can go always to your customer list, get your ages, get your locations. Hey, Londoner. Hey, our customer from Manchester. We have a new pop-up shop being opened in Manchester. Visit it, which is nice. But still, this needs static data to be aggregated there. Somebody should go and filter those data, put some queries on those data, and build up that marketing campaign, let's say. Still working, still generates good amount of money, and still the most frequent used personalization in the brands now, still.
You think this is where most organizations are parked at the moment?
Yes, most of the organizations are there, honestly speaking. It's commonly used. On top of it, the level 2 is start using some kind of algorithms, some automation, some machine learning to generate more out of this personalization. So which is we call the behavioral personalization, which means, yes, I know Deri, he visited my website yesterday and he was looking for a England shirt before the semifinal. He didn't buy it, but I know he's looking for this, and it was a year 9, age 9 size. So not for him. I know Deri because I know his age. He's my customer, but he is looking for a kind of kid. So it's a girl or a son. I don't know, daughter, maybe a son, maybe. I don't know. But I know it is a kid's shirt he was looking for, and I know he didn't buy. This is the behavior I aggregated as the brand from his behavior. So based on this, now automation can bring up some kind of reminder marketing. So it's kind of retargeting, but we can send again emails when he arrives to the website. We know what he is looking for. Yes, you were looking for this actually shirt. Why don't you buy it? It's kind of the abandoned cart, because abandoned cart is a good example. I know what you abandoned. I am reminding this. So this is the second level. Still, you need tools. You need algorithms. So you need tech solutions like Segmentify. And this is an added value on top of the level 1. So what is level 3? Because we see this in 4 levels. And in the level 3, now the algorithms are becoming a little bit more intelligent. We need more technical details there. Yes, Deri.
Yeah, so this is level 3. So we're starting to get towards some best practice here. This is good, yeah.
So it is some serious works needs to be done now. So you need a more proper technical provider or a team of data scientists there to provide this. And that level 3 we call is the one-to-one personalization now. Because for the behavioral one, it is simple. Okay, so better than a static one or a kind of a demography-based one, but it is simple. For one-to-one now, I need to know and I need to identify if Andreas and Deri arrives to the website and search for the same keyword, which is, let's make a football boot. Now, what I can do in the behavioral level, if I know you visited the website a couple of days before, I can bring something from that behavior, recent ones. But if I can do it in the one-to-one level now, I know Andreas because he is a frequent buyer. I know his size. I know when he arrives, he always pays the top money in the football booths. He's not that actually super kramer from my perspective in the t-shirts category, but when he buys football boots, he always pays the top money. He buys the best product there. So he's a super kramer in my football shoes category. But Deri comes, buys frequently, regularly, some middle-level products in midst of the football shoes. But I know him when he buys from me some trousers. So he is again paying the top money. So he is different segment in my perspective, in different category. I know his size. I know his estimated budget. I know his favorite brand. I know his favorite color. So I make it easy for Deri to buy the product.
And so I'm assuming a lot of that can and should be led by kind of machine learning, kind of neural networks, these types of things to identify those links without stipulating exactly what you're looking for. So the data will tell you what to look for as opposed to you telling the data, give me X, Y, Z. How common and how prevalent is it right now amongst the big retailers that they use that kind of that one-to-one personalization? Is it really common or is it actually not common at all?
It is not so common, Andreas, and it is really easy to check it. As I said, go to any top retailer, fashion retailer, Home Depot retailer, sports retailer, sit with your best friends with two different phones when you are listening to this actually and watching this, or even if you can do it from your phone and from your desktop, search for the same keywords, different people, all together, they will see all lists. Or visit the web page. In the homepage, you will see all the same banners, all the same hero banners with the same order. And under this, you will see same categories listed in the homepage. So this is not one-to-one. If you provide...
So what are the obstacles right now for retailers getting to that point? Because for me, it seems to be the technology exists to do that already. Mm-hmm. So why aren't these big entities who've got big budgets, why aren't they at this level 3 yet?
Hard question. Saying that technology exists, I cannot back this strongly. So it's not all of the personalization solutions, focusing the problem from that perspective, and it is not easy. Think about that retailer having 5 million, 10 million page views, more than 1 million different visitors on the web page. So it is not easy in the granular level to identify all these criteria I have listed for every single visitor and act accordingly in real time. What I mean, Andreas, think about the biggest sports retailer in UK. And I am a frequent buyer of them for my actually t-shirts. 2 months, 3 months, I didn't visit them, but I was in gym. So I lost a lot of kilos and I came back. They know my size, most probably, because they know what I bought, which is behavioral one. But to be in the one-to-one side, after my second click, picking up 2 size smaller t-shirts, now they need to be able to update their profile with the machine learning and act accordingly, which is don't show me my XXL larges anymore because now I am large. So show me your best selling large t-shirts. So when I say one-to-one, this is going up to that level. So do it granular in multi-dimension for millions of visitors in real time. So technology is ready there. Yes, there are solutions like Segmentify. We are trying to get this domain multiple, not tens. This is first thing. Second one, your question, I think this is still the dream, Andreas. To solve this problem is not the most prior problem for the retailers. They have much bigger problems still. So it is never time for them to focus on this, to see the value there. But Amazon is generating 35% of their revenue, correct? 35 out of 100 products sold by Amazon is coming through these personalization activities. So once retailers identify this opportunity there, they need to focus on providing that one-to-one level personalization.
So that's level 3. That's exciting. A place for people to aim for. Is there anything beyond level 3?
Yes. The last one is the predictive.
Predictive.
So, predictive. And this is where Amazon is now. Now this is the story. This is what we are working on it as well, trying to build up it. And let me give a couple of examples. My famous example on this is olive oil. Coming from Turkey, we are consuming a lot of olive oils. And it is not so frequent in the Western Europe. If you don't think about the Mediterranean, yes, it is being consumed, but it is not the main ingredient of the dishes. It is kind of for the salads, it's being used. But for us, we use it for the main dishes as well, which means I am consuming around 2 liters of olive oil every month in my house. And if I ask Deri, do you consume it use it Deri at home, or do you know how much? But it might be less than 1 liter, half liter bottle. So which means there is not one criteria for olive oil consumption. So I wish my supermarket chain in UK, which I generally order every 3 weeks, knows when I will be out of olive oil and reminds me, because I'm not buying it every single week. If I buy it every single week, it is easy. It is behavioral now. One-to-one behavior. Hey, Murat, you bought these products as well during your last basket. It is not here now. Do you want us to add them? Yes, this is good. Do it. Some of them does it. But if they remind me, hey, Murat, you should be going out of olive oil. So don't make your wife mad at you. Buy this as well. So tomorrow, when you try to actually cook something, you will be out of olive oil. If it's a good reminder, and add this now this is prediction. Or if I know Andreas is running and he needs to change his shoes every 10,000 kilometers, I need to remind him in his 6th month, Andreas, did you see our new running shoes? Because we know you will be buying next 2 months. Why don't you buy now? Or your favorite running shoe is in discount now, so buy it now because you will buy it in next 2 months. So this is now becoming the prediction. Again, do it behavioral, do it into one-to-one level. After you do it, then you can implement the predictive ones. Now this is becoming more complicated. It is not about only the visitors, their profiles. It is about the products or assets you are providing to them and how frequent they should be bought by your visitors. It is another level of actually dimension coming. So which makes the computation much harder and making it in real time almost impossible. That is why for production wise, you cannot do it in real time. You need to do it with batch processes. Before the visitors arrive to your websites, you need to know what you should recommend to them about actually.
So it seems like a really, really important area, and an area where there's lots of headroom to improve in terms of margin, efficiency, all these things. And there's lots of things out there, even things with my own business, which you can kind of reach a saturation point. So with paid search, everyone's doing paid search. You can get good improvement, but it's very, very rare to get a 100% improvement because people have been doing it at the highest levels for at least 10 years. So it's really mature. This feels like it's very, very immature in terms of the scope to get amazing results are there, which makes it incredibly exciting. Within businesses, the client side, who's responsible for personalization? Whose job is it? In my world, for example, you'll have a head of SEO or a head of search or a director of search who is accountable to that specific area. In your world, who's the customer? Who's the budget holder? Who's the influencer? Who's the one that who champions personalization internally?
Actually, this question and your previous question are quite related, Andreas, because now it is the e-commerce manager or the head of e-commerce. And this tells why most of the brands are not implementing this one-to-one personalization or predictive personalization. Because these guys needs to do a lot of things. You are also talking to them at the end of the day from paid and SEO perspective. Payment systems are at the end of the day going to them, or e-commerce platforms. Everyone is talking to them. So they are so busy, which means, if you ask me, maybe not next year, but in a couple of years, we will be talking to head of personalization. So this is.
You think that's just a few years away?
I think so for serious brands in the enterprise level, because we started to see it. So at least in every single meeting, in addition to the head of e-commerce, we have somebody from team. But when I say enterprises, it is multi-hundred million actually companies. Since we are starting to go in the global level for those enterprises, there is somebody dedicated to personalization, because really this needs dedication.
Yeah. It typically happens in my experience when CEOs see competitors doing things that their teams aren't doing. So you can see how the rise of search and the in-house head of search, or whatever it might be, for me stemmed from the CEO of company A doing a search in Google, seeing their competitor but not seeing themselves, and then going nuts, and then asking their team what's going on, why are these people ranking for things that we should be ranking for? And then suddenly, because the CEO's annoyed by it or frustrated, then you get the investment to build new teams and new structures and new focus. And then obviously the CEO, because they're annoyed by what they've been seeing, wants to see a weekly report on what's happening to fix it. So I think what will happen is, once you start finding certain entities doing some exceptional things in personalization, then everyone's going to realize the bar's been set higher. The CEOs will see the bar's been set higher. It becomes very visible internally. I mean, with search, it kind of happened where you'd have CEOs on earnings calls and being asked questions about what their search strategy is, at which when they didn't have one, then definitely investments going in, because next time someone asks me on an earning call what our search strategy is, then I have to have an answer for it, particularly when search became 20, 30, 40% of people's revenue. So I think what you'll find is that I think that's how it typically happens, is when it gets big enough, when the difference between kind of best practice and the best becomes wider, then CEOs start to notice, in my experience at least.
One note on this, Andreas, very good story. We also get some inquiries from the CEOs of these big brands, of our customers. And it's like, hey, Murat, you told it is one-to-one, but when I search for some address, I see some complicated results there. Or in the homepage, I see a lot of different products that's not relevant for me. Then it's not easy to tell this, but sometimes I help the team to go onto their data and understand what is the profile of that specific user. Because they are the CEOs or the e-commerce managers, they have to visit a lot of different products. So it's like the one problem you mentioned, he needs to visit his website, or she needs to visit that product in her website as well. So it's not easy to make a personalization profile for the e-commerce manager or the CEO, because they are not a buyer actually. So they visit every single product because somebody says this is actually in stock, but customer says they cannot see it. So that is why she visited that men's trousers in small size as well. So algorithms are completely confused for individual e-commerce managers or CEOs. And it's every.
We used to do this thing years and years ago, kind of pre-cloud computing, where we'd have a machine in the office that was essentially pretending to be an ordinary customer.
Okay.
So that we'd use that for testing purposes, and there'd be a persona attached to that. So you couldn't use that computer unless you're pretending to be Dave, who was 33 from Chiswick, for example. So just to make sure we could test if certain things were responding the way they were. Now, obviously, now there's better technology to be able to do that, but we'd have to do that manually historically, just to make sure, because Murat, you're right, you'd have scenarios where people would ask, why are we seeing certain things in search results? It's like, well, because you're not a real customer, you're a strange customer, you do everything, you're every customer, so we can't really help you in that way. And then take screenshots of the kind of the control case to send them. That's what other people are seeing. Before incognito modes and all these type of things. So I think we're running a bit short of time now. So it's been a really, really good conversation. My last question then is really, if there's this belief that in a few years' time, there'll be these head of personalization or director of personalization, what's then the role of external parties, of external services or external technologies in that world where more and more is being internalized and more power is being internalized?
So, yeah, I mean, first we will start to see this role in some brands. I don't know if everyone will have in a couple of few years, but this is a message to the medium-sized retailers, actually. So they need to at least assign somebody from team to be in charge of the personalization. even if it is not head of personalization as a starting point. It is, if you ask me, it is today. If you are doing more than 10 million, you need to have somebody. If it is the personalization, you need to know who is that in the team. So it is for sure for today.
Okay.
When it happens, head of personalization and a team for personalization, honestly, I cannot predict it. I'm not that intelligent for the algorithms, but we started to see for big brands. And for your question, what is the role of the third parties? Or again, I interpret this, do we need to do this in-house or should we work with somebody? That is, you need to have a team, 1, 2, who is in charge of the strategy, because technology is good. Algorithms are nice, but all these fiction movies, fiction books, machines are getting the world and humans are being under machines, regulated by machines. Maybe that is fiction, but in this part, it is true. You should not let the algorithms own your website, own your strategies. Algorithms are tools. We are third parties, technology tools. They need us. They will need us always. If you're not Amazon, if you cannot invest multiple millions to this and extra couple of millions to run this sustainable algorithms, you need to work with technology companies. This is full stop, it's for sure. But you need to have your own team, your own plan, working with your technology partner, how you will run your personalization strategies. It is your storefront, the homepage. You cannot leave it to your algorithms. Algorithm will try to focus on the optimization, but it's not about optimization only. It's not always revenue only. It's not about conversion only. It is your storefront. This is your brand, the voice of your marketing. You need to define it. You need to decide it. What we did it is not a black box. Segmentify wise, we help our customers to dominate and regulate the algorithms. This is my homepage. I don't want to recommend products cheaper than £100 here, even though they are converting best, because you decide what you will put into your front page. I don't want these two brands to come together in the two widgets because I don't like it, because I don't want it, because my boss doesn't like it, the owner doesn't like it, I don't know. But you need to be able to manage the outcomes of the algorithms. And answering your question on this, definitely there should be a team defining the main strategy quarterly wise, monthly wise, and instantly can actually manipulate the results of algorithms. So they need to have access. Hey, Murat, we are recommending this product, but we are already selling this perfectly. We will be getting out of stock for this, and I don't know the supply chain for the brand. They need to get this product out of all recommendations in all widgets in 1 second. One click, don't recommend this product, don't recommend this brand. Yes, we still have their products, but we just finished our agreement with them. I don't want to populate them in my widgets. So this, an algorithm cannot make it. This is a marketing manager, e-commerce manager decision. Have a proper team who understands personalization and have a proper third-party technology provider from today who listens you, who develops algorithms for your future needs as well, who you can guide to actually develop their product based on your needs, because we are a personalization solution. I am working with competitors. I cannot provide the same solution to all of them. It should be personalized to my customer brands as well. So that's why I need to talk to somebody and understand, hey, Deri, what you want to achieve? Hey, Andreas, what you want to achieve? If you're working for the same company, if you want to achieve to improve your conversion rate and improve your average order value at the same time, sorry guys, I cannot do it with the same strategy. They are competing metrics. So we need to have different strategies there. Absolutely. And I need to find a third party in the company to talk this. If I cannot talk it, I will do my best practices.
Correct. That's very, very, very good advice. We could clearly talk about this all day long. It's just a fascinating.
Yes. And this is my pain point, Andreas. You see,
it's a big. Yeah, I mean, your challenge is to kind of hone it into something that can be easily articulated to people that don't have the knowledge that you may have. But certainly a fascinating area, a fascinating conversation. So I think the only thing left is for me and Deri to thank you, Murat, very, very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to talk to you guys and some leaders in the sector, like-minded, who tries to give back to the community as well, because we are the ones who are shaping the e-commerce domains. Always we need to share such experiences, try to guide the community, learn from the community as well. enlightening talk as well for me. Thank you very much. Thanks for the invitation.